So after an amazing 6-movie run, culminating in the third most successful film of all time, Marvel Studios has a little capital to spend, and they've decided to gamble with it. Yes, in time for Comic-Con, Marvel Studios made a flurry of announcements, the biggest being the reveal that their 2 upcoming mystery live-action films would be Ant-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy. Both seem like huge risks and potential missteps for a studio that has so far written the book on comic book movie adaptations. Yet if you look closely, Marvel Studios does appear to be following their playbook. Let's start with Ant-Man. Fans have long known this film was in the works thanks to writer-director Edgar Wright's tweets, so the surprise was that it had finally been greenlit. And it makes sense as the project has not only been in development for a very long time, but because Ant-Man, aka Hank Pym, was a founding member of the Avengers. Yet for obvious reasons, it looks like Edgar Wright's Ant-Man will be Scott Lang. What are those obvious reasons, non-comic book readers might ask? Well, Hank Pym not only beat his wife, fellow Avenger the Wasp, but created one of the team's greatest enemies of all time, Ultron. Could that make for an interesting character? Sure, but in the family-friendly Marvel Cinematic Universe, not so much. But Hank Pym won't be totally missing from the Ant-Man movie, as Edgar Wright has revealed that Lang will inherit the mantle from Pym, just as he does in the comics. Wright had also envisioned flashbacks to Pym's superhero days in the 1960s, but since that doesn't fit with Marvel Cinematic Universe continuity, Wright has been reworking the script. As for Edgar Wright himself, he's an inspired choice to helm Ant-Man, one that falls perfectly in line with Marvel Studios' previous think-outside-the-box hires, like Jon Favreau, Kenneth Branagh, Joe Johnston, and Joss Whedon. And just like Whedon, Wright doesn't have a single box office hit to his name, but also like Whedon, he has a legion of fans. And for anyone who's seen Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Wright can certainly deliver thrilling and inventive action sequences. And his co-writer, Joe Cornish, also delivered some low-budget thrills with Attack the Block, which Wright executive produced. But while Marvel Studios has produced fun and light films, is Ant-Man 2 Honey, I Shrunk the Kids? Up until now, Marvel Studios has gracefully walked the thin line between family-friendly fare and just for kids fare. But will Ant-Man push them too far in the direction of the latter? In fact, that's the same problem they face with Guardians of the Galaxy. Ask any comic book reader and they will tell you that comic books are not just for kids. And it's storylines like wife-beating and evil robot building that have kept the character of Ant-Man in the adult category. But how is Marvel Studios going to sell audiences on a walking, talking raccoon with a gun? And how will comic book readers be able to live it down? It's not even fair, as comic book readers have never gotten behind the superhero team. The Guardians of the Galaxy reboot debuted in May 2008 at number 61 and was canceled after 25 issues. So why make a movie about them? Because the team was heavily involved in the 2010 limited series The Thanos Imperative, and Marvel Studios is making this movie largely to introduce mainstream audiences to the villain teased at the end of the Avengers, who will be the big bad in the Avengers 2. Also, it is worth noting that Marvel does have quite a few cosmic characters. Alien races the Kree, the Skrulls, and the Shi'ar, as well as individuals like Galactus and the Inhumans. But while the main characters occasionally make a trip out to the far reaches of the galaxy for a story arc or two, Marvel's cosmic line has never risen above cult status with readers. So in reality, Marvel Studios needs to not only introduce mainstream audiences to Thanos, but quite a few comic book readers as well. But is it too soon to take Robert Downey Jr. and company into space? The Marvel Cinematic Universe is still being established, and the 9 realms were already introduced in both Thor and Captain America. Why not explore that first, rather than a whole new world, and not just one new character, but an entire new team? And for those same reasons, perhaps Thanos isn't the best villain for Thor 2. Me, I think Secret Invasion would be better, as the action is Earth-based, or perhaps even Civil War, as it holds up a superhero mirror to real-world problems. What do you think? Is the Marvel Cinematic Universe in danger of becoming too cartoony, or do you trust Marvel Studios? And is Rocket Raccoon set to be a live-action version of the popular Stitch, or the next Howard the Duck? Write your thoughts down below. I'm Grace Randolph, and this has been a Movie Bite. You can watch more right now.